If you're the woman who swallowed her questions to keep the peace, if you've ever smiled at a dinner table while your chest felt like it was caving in, if you rebuilt yourself so quietly that no one even noticed you were bleeding, this story is for you. My name is Alessandra Morales Delgado. I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, in a family where women didn't leave. We endured, we hosted, we forgave, and we never, ever embarrassed the family. That wasn't written anywhere, but it might as well have been carved into the dining room table, next to the burn mark from my abuela's cast iron skillet. I married Javier Delgado when I was 26. He was charming in that smooth, business school, firm handshake way. He had a startup in commercial kitchen equipment distribution, high-end ranges, custom refrigeration, stainless steel fabrication for restaurants across Texas. And me? I was the culinary brain. I trained at the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park. I came back home because family comes first. That was the rule. I designed menus for private clients. I consulted for restaurants quietly. I helped Javier understand chefs, what they needed, how they moved in a kitchen, why workflow mattered more than flashy features. He liked to joke, Alessandra's my secret weapon. Secret weapon. Funny how those words aged. The first time my little cousin Sophia appeared in this story, she was 9. Big brown eyes, braces too big for her face, always smelling faintly like cinnamon gum. She would sit at my kitchen island, swinging her legs while I tested recipes. "Prima," she'd whisper, like it was sacred. "You're gonna be on TV one day." "I know it." I'd laugh. "No, mija. I'm behind the scenes." Because that's where Morales women stood. Behind. When Javier's company started expanding, I built a full kitchen workflow blueprint for him, something I'd been sketching for years. A modular system that allowed small independent restaurants to customize layouts affordably. It wasn't just equipment, it was operational design. I spent 6 months on it. Nights. Weekends. My hands permanently smelling like printer ink and garlic. I built spreadsheets forecasting cost savings. I drafted mock-ups. I even created a pilot design in a struggling taqueria on the south side for free, just to prove the numbers. Revenue doubled in 8 months. Javier looked at my plans one night, flipping through the binder. "This is impressive," he said. Impressive. 2 weeks later, he pitched his new modular innovation at a regional hospitality expo in Dallas. I wasn't invited. I watched the live stream from our living room. I remember the smell of burnt coffee in the air and the sound of the AC rattling. And there he was, on stage, holding my binder. "Our team has developed a revolutionary modular system. Our team." No mention of my name. Afterward, when he came home riding that adrenaline high, I stood in the kitchen. "You used my work," I said quietly. He didn't even flinch. "We're married, Alessandra. It's ours. Ours." You ever notice how ours somehow only goes one direction? Drop a comment if you're May. If ever had someone take credit for something you built with your bare hands. I'm not even kidding. Sometimes just knowing we're not crazy helps. I swallowed it. Because tradition. Because loyalty. Because my mama's voice echoed in my head. A good wife protects her husband's name. 6 months later, I found the messages. Not dramatic lipstick on a collar stuff. Quiet. Efficient. Hotel confirmations forwarded to a personal email. Late-night Slack messages with a consultant named Brielle Kwan. They were strategic about it. Business trips that didn't need to happen. Dinners labeled vendor relations. When I confronted him, he sighed. "You're being emotional." Oh, that word. He didn't deny it. He reframed it. It didn't mean anything. "You're my wife. Don't blow up our lives over something temporary." Temporary, like I was the permanent fixture, the reliable appliance. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't call my mother. I went silent. Not weak silent, observing silent. And that was the beginning of the years no one saw. Sophia came over again around that time. She was 13 now, taller, quieter. She watched me clean up after a Sunday family dinner while the men sat in the living room debating business and politics. "Why don't you sit?" she asked softly. I smiled. "It's fine." She hesitated. "Mom says I should take business classes in high school, but not get too ambitious. Boys don't like that." I felt something cold slide down my spine. "Who told her that?" I asked. "That's just how it is." "Is it though? Have you ever heard a younger girl repeat a rule you know is going to cage her? Tell me I'm not the only one who felt that punch in the stomach. That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling fan. Javier thought I was still naive. He had no idea I was building something. Quietly, I registered Morales Culinary Systems LLC under my maiden name. I consulted under non-disclosure agreements. Small restaurants first, then mid-sized chains. I refined the modular system, improved it. Patented elements Javier had never thought to protect. I took online business law courses at 2 a.m. I met with an intellectual property attorney in Austin, Daphne Whitaker, sharp as a blade in navy suits. I paid her in installments. Why the secrecy? She asked once. Because when I move, I told her, it has to be unshakable. For 3 years, I built. I drove a 15-year-old Honda. I skipped vacations. I cooked for events to fund software development. Meanwhile, Javier's company grew. Investors came in. He expanded into Oklahoma and New Mexico. He assumed I was healing. I was engineering. Sophia's third appearance was the one that broke me open. She was 16. She showed up at my house after school, eyes red. I got into the entrepreneurship program, she said, holding the acceptance letter like it was fragile glass. That's amazing. I pulled her into a hug. Her body felt stiff. Dad says it's pointless, she whispered. He says I'll just end up helping my husband anyway, so why try to outshine him? Something inside me snapped so cleanly it was almost quiet. That night, after she left, I sat at my kitchen island, the same one she used to swing her legs from, and opened my laptop. I scheduled the move. 2 months later, the Texas Restaurant and Hospitality Summit announced its keynote panel, The Future of Modular Kitchen Infrastructure. Javier Delgado was headlining, and so was I, but he didn't know yet. Now I need you to breathe with me, because this next part, this was the calmest I have ever felt in my life. The convention center in Austin smelled like coffee, carpet cleaner, and ambition. The air hummed with low conversations and the clinking of name badges against lanyards. I wore a cream silk blouse and a tailored navy suit. My hair pulled back in a low bun. Minimal makeup. No wedding ring. Not dramatically removed. Just absent. Backstage, I could hear Javier's voice through the curtain. Confident. Polished. He finished to applause. The moderator smiled. Next, we have a rising force in modular culinary systems. Alessandra Morales Delgado, founder of Morales Culinary Systems. You could feel the pause ripple. Morales, Delgado. I walked out slowly, not rushed, not hesitant. Our eyes met. If you've ever locked eyes with someone who underestimated you, you know that exact split second of recalculation. It's almost microscopic, but it's there. He masked it quickly. I shook the moderator's hand, nodded at the panelists. Then I began. 3 years ago, I said evenly, I noticed independent restaurants were being priced out of efficient infrastructure. So I built a scalable modular system designed specifically for them. Built, not we. I clicked the remote. The screen lit up with blueprints, data charts, revenue comparisons. I walked them through patent numbers, cost analyses, implementation timelines. Investors in the audience leaned forward. Javier's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. Then came the slide. A side-by-side comparison. His company's system. Mine. Mine was sleeker, legally protected, more profitable, and already implemented in 47 restaurants across Texas and Louisiana. Murmurs. I kept my tone warm, professional. While other companies retrofit traditional frameworks, I continued, glancing, briefly, not lingering. Morales Culinary Systems was designed from the ground up for adaptability. Not once did I mention him directly. I didn't need to. During Q&A, an investor stood up. Mr. Delgado, how does your company plan to compete with the patented flexibility we just saw? The room went very still. Javier cleared his throat. We're exploring adjustments. Exploring. Daphne, my attorney, stood near the back wall. She gave me the slightest nod, because here's what no one else knew. The week before the summit, I finalized an exclusive supply contract with one of the largest stainless steel manufacturers in the Southwest, the same supplier Javier relied on. Legally, cleanly, strategically. My contract guaranteed priority production for 5 years. Non-transferable. Non-negotiable. Signed, you could feel the power shift in that ballroom like a change in pressure before a storm. After the panel, people crowded around me. Business cards, handshakes. We'd love to talk. Javier approached last. His smile was tight. We need to discuss this, he said quietly. There's nothing to discuss, I replied just as quietly. It's just business. His own words. Returned. And here's the thing. This is important. There was no shouting. No scene. Just truth. Standing upright. Later that week, I filed for divorce. Infidelity documentation included. Intellectual property secured. Assets separated. He couldn't argue with contracts. He couldn't charm patent law. He couldn't gaslight manufacturing agreements. Structural moves. Unshakable. The final scene happened at my kitchen island again. Sophia sat across from me, now 17, acceptance letter to a top business school in her hands. I saw you on stage, she said, eyes shining. You didn't look angry. I wasn't. What were you? I slid something across the counter. My original binder. The one he had held on stage years ago. Worn edges. Coffee stain on page 12. I was prepared. She ran her fingers over the pages like they were sacred. You built all this? Yes. And you didn't tell anyone? I smiled softly. Sometimes you build in silence, so when you speak, it echoes. She stood up, came around the island, and hugged me tighter than she ever had. I'm not shrinking, she whispered. Good, I said. Don't ever. That binder sits on a shelf in my office now. Not because I need the reminder of betrayal, but because it reminds me of who I became when no one was clapping. If this story felt like it was written from a page of your own life, subscribe to Her Untold Revenge and share this with the woman who's building quietly right now. Trust me, when she walks back into the room, they will feel it.